Watch meteorologist Michelle Morgan for your weekend forecast, weekend mornings on News 6. Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results in your neighborhood now at 5 a.m.
Now on News 6 Mornings, exactly 3 years after a man is killed, his murder still unsolved. The new video just released that could help put an end to the long search. Plus, a man accused of shooting at condos Thanksgiving morning killed by police after refusing to surrender. What we're learning about those scary moments as people prepare their holiday meals.
And it's another cold start to the morning across Central Florida. Check out your wake-up temperatures. Of course, with the brisk wind out of the north, it's feeling so much colder across Central Florida. But don't worry, colder air is on the way as we head into next week. Of course, I'll have the details coming up in a bit.
Good morning, Central Florida. You're watching News 6 Getting Results. I'm Emily McLeod.
And thanks for waking up with us. And this Saturday, I'm meteorologist Michelle Morgan.
Waking up to a bit of a chill this morning, Michelle.
Yes, it's chilly outside, but it feels great. I know many of us were welcoming the colder weather. And as you said before, it really just brings on that holiday spirit. As we take a live look outside here, everything is nice and quiet. I'm not tracking in any rain. We had a cold front that moved through yesterday, and that brought on some showers, some downpours across Central Florida. But all is good right now. We do have some dry air and cooler air moving into the area, and that's why we're starting off in the 40s, 50s, and 30s in a few locations. We'll start off with Orlando, starting off at 52 degrees. Good morning. New Smyrna Beach at 50. Out in Palm Coast, cold at 44. Ocala, good morning, you're at 42 degrees. And milder along our coast here, mainly along Brevard County. We're at 57 in Cocoa Beach and 55 in Cape Canaveral, as well as Melbourne. Now, of course, when you factor in the brisk winds out of the north, it feels like 36 in Ocala, feeling like 40 in the Villages and Leesburg, and feeling like 47 in Orlando. You'll certainly need to bundle up if you're heading outside early. Now, I do want to show you your wind speeds, clocking in winds of 15 miles per hour in Orlando, 11 miles per hour in Daytona Beach, Cape Canaveral, and 15 miles per hour in Cocoa Beach. So things will remain chilly as we go through today, and also windy. So keep in mind, even though it is a chilly start, we'll warm up nicely into the 60s across Central Florida, but colder mornings are ahead, and I'm talking about middle 30s, lower 40s as we head into next week. But by the end of next week, we'll be much warmer, back in the 70s. Of course, we'll take a look at that full forecast coming up shortly.
All right, Michelle, thank you. You're seeing surveillance video from the murder of 35-year-old DJ White. 3 years later, his murder is still unsolved, but his family has been holding out hope and believes this video could be the key to finding his killer. News 6's Laverne McGee spoke with his mother, who says it's been agonizing since he's been gone.
A 20-shot Mel-ring ski mask. Another person called, heard 9 shots.
We're following the latest this morning on a scary Thanksgiving shooting in Ormond by the Sea. This is newly released body cam video of the scene, where officials say a man fired off more than 200 rounds at a condo complex early Thursday morning. According to the sheriff's office, he had a history of mental illness, so News 6 is choosing not to name him. The sheriff's office says they responded and they tried to de-escalate the situation as he was firing at them and other residents, but he refused to put the weapon down. They say that's when they fired back and killed him. Deputies say they were originally called for someone who was acting suicidal. They say no one else was hurt and the investigation is ongoing. Turning now to results 2024, Canadian officials say Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was at Mar-a-Lago last night to talk about the tariffs President-elect Donald Trump is planning to impose once he takes office. The Prime Minister says he believes Trump will follow through on the proposed 25% tariff to goods coming from Canada. Trudeau believes while the tariffs will make it difficult for Canadian companies, it will also make it hard on U.S. buyers. Current President Joe Biden says he also believes it might not be in the best interest of the country.
We're surrounded by the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, and 2 allies, Mexico and Canada. And the last thing we need to do is begin to screw up those relationships.
Trump has also said he wants to place a 25% tariff on Mexican goods and a 10% tariff on those coming from China. Well, small businesses across the country are planning big events today as a part of Small Business Saturday. The event started back in 2010 as a way to get people to shop locally when they're buying presents. Officials say the day matters even more now as people are expected to spend nearly $200 less at small businesses this year. That's a 40% decrease from what people spent last year, and holiday sales account for a big chunk of that. But we've got places you can visit to prop up those small businesses here in Central Florida. In Orlando, Curry Ford West is hosting their Sip Shop Score from noon until 5 o'clock. Lake Nona is holding a market from noon to 4 today. And in Brevard County, Cocoa Village is holding a Sip and Stroll from 5 o'clock until 9. If you want a full list of what's going on, we have a breakdown over on clickorlando.com. And many shoppers, well, they've already warmed up their wallets ahead of today. Some set their alarms for the crack of dawn to snag those Black Friday deals. International Drive's premium outlets in Orlando were a prime destination for locals and tourists alike. News 6's Angie Quesada has more on shoppers who expected to make the most of their holiday shopping spree.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition. Engines full power. And liftoff. Go SpaceX, go Falcon, go Starlink.
Another successful launch for SpaceX from the Space Coast. Early this morning, the Falcon 9 took off just after midnight, carrying 24 Starlink satellites successfully into low Earth orbit. Shortly after liftoff and stage separation, that Falcon 9 landed on the Just Read Instructions drone ship in the Atlantic Ocean. The Falcon 9 had previously taken Crew 8 to the ISS and carried the Polaris Dawn mission. Time now is 5:09. Let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Michelle Morgan. She's in our Pinpoint Weather Center with a quick check of the forecast. Michelle, going to be a chilly and brisk day for anybody hoping to get some Small Business Saturday shopping done.
That's right. You'll definitely need to bundle up if you are starting your shopping early. Many of us are beginning our Saturday morning in the 40s and 50s. And of course, with that strong wind, it feels so much colder on the skin. So just make sure you're wearing layers today. We are looking at a pleasant afternoon with our daytime highs reaching the middle to upper 60s. But we are looking at another front. We had a front move through yesterday, a cold front, and another one will be moving into our area early Monday morning, and that is going to be bringing some much colder air to Central Florida, where many of us will be waking up into the 30s and 40s. So frost certainly will be possible, but by the end of the week, we warm back up into the 70s, which will be a nice warm up for many of us here. I do want to show you the current conditions as we take a look at your temperatures and the feels like temperatures, starting off with Ocala at 42. Feeling like 39. The Villages at 44, feeling like 41. Orlando, you're at 49 right now, feeling like 47. And then as we head to our coastal communities, New Smyrna Beach at 51, feeling like 49. And milder along our coastal spots here out in Brevard County, Cocoa Beach at 58, but feeling like 57 degrees. Now for today, here's a look at your what to wear forecast. Again, temperatures are chilly right now. We'll remain steady in the lower 50s as we go through the remainder of your morning. Then by 2, we'll be in the upper 60s with abundant sunshine with no rain in the forecast, which is great news if you have any outdoor plans later on. Forecast high 66 in Daytona Beach, 70 in Cocoa Beach and Melbourne, and Orlando at 69. So as I mentioned before, colder air is on the way. Of course, I'll break it all down coming up in my full forecast.
All right, Michelle, thank you. You can keep up with the forecast 24/7 with our free News 6 Pinpoint Weather app. Just search WKMG in your app store. Well, people across Central Florida are getting in the Christmas spirit, and one group is helping people have a happy holiday. Coming up, the firefighters preparing to give kids a very Merry Christmas. You're watching News 6 Mornings. We're getting results for our friends in Sanford, Lake Mary, and all of Central Florida. We'll be right back.
It's the latest stories that matter to you. That's what you need in the morning.
Exactly. You're walking the dog, getting the kids ready. You want to know what's happening in your neighborhood.
Plus the traffic situation.
So we're seeing those slowdowns right around 5:35, so please be careful.
And of course, is it going to be raining?
We're looking mostly dry this morning, but the kids do not need the rain gear for now.
You wake up, you can get what you need before your day begins.
That's what News 6 Mornings does every day. We've got your back.
You got to watch before you go.
Well, there are several reasons why the holidays are special, including the spirit of giving that brings our communities together. Yesterday, firefighters in Seminole County became Santa's helpers as they built dozens of bikes for children in need. News 6's Jarrell Baker was there as they prepared to make Christmas dreams come true. Our first responders, they just continue to give back to our communities.
I love it.
I mean, not only are they always ready to answer the call, but then they just go the extra mile and they say, how can we help even more?
I love that.
It's really wonderful.
It is wonderful, and it's just so nice that we highlight what they do.
Definitely, and, we're always happy to do so.
And we're always happy to see things like that, especially around the holidays. And talking about the holidays, it actually feels like the holidays.
Finally,
the colder weather. If you haven't stepped outside yet, it's cold out there. I don't know about you, I'm a little weak. I had to bundle up coming out of my house this morning. So we are looking at cold mornings ahead, but at least the afternoons won't be awful. We'll warm up nicely for many of us today in the 60s and then tomorrow in the 70s. Now, yesterday we had a cold front that moved through and some of us saw some rain, some downpours, but we are off to a dry start this morning. Another cold front is expected to move through as we head into our Monday, and that cold front will be pretty strong, ushering some of that cold Arctic air from the north, and many of us will be waking up in the 30s and lower 40s. So some frosty mornings are ahead, and I have great news to report. Today is November 30th, which marks the end of hurricane season. So that's great news right there. I do want to show you the setup. You're looking at the satellite and radar. You could see that cold front way off to our south and east. We have that colder air moving in. Air of high pressure will continue to keep things rather quiet as we head in today and also tomorrow. But there's our secondary cold front that is draped over northern Texas. And again, that one is scheduled to arrive as we head into our Monday. Now, the cold front that passed through yesterday has kicked up our winds out of the north, looking at a sustained winds at 15 miles per hour in Orlando as well as Cocoa Beach, and 11 miles per hour in Daytona Beach, out in Lakeland at 13 miles per hour. And of course, with any little bit of wind, it is going to create a wind chill. So even though temperatures are starting off in the 40s and 50s across the peninsula, it feels so much colder on the skin. Look at this. In Ocala, it's 42, feeling like 39. Orlando, 49, feeling like 47. Daytona Beach, 47, feeling like 46. And then out in Claremont, it's 47 degrees for you all, feeling like 45. So you'll definitely need to bundle up as you're heading out. So as you look at your morning forecast, clouds will continue to clear, winds sustained out of the north at 8 to 10 miles per hour. A dry afternoon overall, but a dry morning and afternoon, but overall looking at a pleasant afternoon ahead with our daytime highs reaching the upper 60s in Orlando, Sanford, New Smyrna Beach, a high of 67, Ocala, a high of 64, and then 66 degrees out in Wildwood with milder temperatures along our coast in Brevard County with highs in the 70s. Now, I do want to show you tonight's lows. We will see our temperatures drop into the upper 30s in Ocala, 37 out in Gainesville, the Villages at 44, 52 in Orlando, and then lower 60s in Cocoa Beach and Cape Canaveral. Now, because of the colder temperatures out to the north and west, we're looking at Marion County, parts of Sumter County, frost is possible for you. So if you have sensitive plants, cover them up, keep them safe, because our temperatures are going to get pretty cold in your area. As we take a look at your clouds and rain forecast, this particular model trying to pop a few light showers, making its way along our coastline. So that is possible, but again, many of us will see a dry day today. Now, looking ahead to next week, we are looking at our temperatures below average. So some colder air is heading our way due to that cold front, and let me show you how cold. So today, it'll be breezy, high of 69. Tomorrow, 71. Monday, a high of 66. But look at your overnight temperatures in the lower 40s. But then we warm up nicely as we head into Thursday and Friday, back into the lower to middle 70s.
We'll have getting results at home coming up next, how to fix a pesky garbage disposal. But first, get those tickets out. Here's a look at the winning numbers from last night's Florida Lottery drawings. Good luck.
Get the scoop on every theme park with our In the Loop Theme Park Scoops newsletter. Sign up at clickorlando.com/newsletters.
We've all dealt with it, that pesky stuck garbage disposal, and I feel like that's one of those appliances where when you lose it, you realize how much you really need it. So as News 6's handy newsman Eric Von Anken shows us, there is a quick fix that will help you get right back to cleaning those dishes. Coming up on News 6 Mornings, it's been nearly 3 years since DJ White was killed, as his murderer is still on the loose. The new video that was just released that could put his killer behind bars. Michelle, we're waking up pretty cold this morning.
Yeah, it's definitely a cold start to our morning across Central Florida, but there's some colder air heading our way. We have another cold front that's going to move through as we head into early Monday morning. And look at your wake-up temperatures beginning on Tuesday in the lower 40s, but feeling like the 30s. Of course, I'll break it all down coming up soon.
You're watching News 6. We'll be right back.
Kick off the holiday season and light up Lake Eola for the City of Orlando and News 6.
There will be activities for the whole family. You can get some shopping done at the Holiday Market Friday, December 6th.
Working locks on your windows are an important part of keeping your home and family safe. Watch Getting Results at Home, sponsored by Renewal by Anderson for more DIY tips.
Watch meteorologist Michelle Morgan for your weekend forecast. Weekend mornings on News 6. Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results.
Now on News 6 mornings, a man firing off hundreds of rounds at a condo Thursday morning, now killed by deputies after refusing to surrender. The new body cam video just released. Plus, a father killed and his murderer never found. What his family is saying after new surveillance video is released that could lead to his killer. Welcome back to the morning news. Time now is 5:30 on your Saturday. You're watching News 6 Getting Results. I'm Emily McLeod. Before we update you on our top stories, meteorologist Michelle Morgan has a quick check of today's forecast. Michelle, the weather headline, it's cold.
It's cold, yeah, for sure. If you haven't stepped outside yet, it's cold and it's also windy. So it's creating a wind chill. So even though temperatures are starting off in the 50s and 40s, it's feeling like the 30s in a few locations. As we take a live look outside out in Port Canaveral, this is from our Launch Credit Union camera. Orlando, good morning. You're starting off at 52. The Villages at 44. Ocala at 42. And Cape Canaveral here at 55 degrees. Now, we had a cold front that moved through yesterday, brought some rain to central Florida, but it also brought not only colder temperatures, it also brought some very strong winds. I am picking up on wind speeds, again, sustained out of the north at 15 miles per hour in Orlando. 12 miles per hour in New Smyrna Beach, Cape Canaveral, and Daytona Beach at 11 miles per hour. And Ocala, you're getting some winds at 10 miles per hour. Now, I do want to show you the temperatures and the feels like temperatures, what it feels like on the skin here. If you're about to head out the door, you're getting ready, you'll need to bundle up. So as I mentioned before, it's 41 in Ocala, but it feels like 39. Wildwood, it's 44, but feeling like 41 degrees. Claremont's at 47, feeling like 45. And then as we head out to Daytona Beach, 46 degrees, feeling like 45. So your morning forecast will continue to see clouds clear. Temperatures at 51 around 8, 55 around 10, getting into the 60s later on. Looking at a nice afternoon. Now, colder air is on the way as we head into next week due to another cold front. Of course, I'll have the details coming up in a bit.
Well, it's another big weekend for soccer fans in Orlando. We're still riding last week's high from the Orlando Pride becoming national champions. And now the men's team, Orlando City, will take on the New York Red Bulls in the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, this is important to note. We could see history, as a win this week would put them in the league finals. So if Orlando City wins the whole thing, Orlando would become the first city in the U.S. professional soccer to host the both men's and women's trophies in the same year. If Orlando City wins, they'll face the winner of the Seattle Sounders and LA Galaxy in the league finals. Tonight's game is at 7:30 at Inter & Co Stadium in Orlando. Let's go ahead and check back in with meteorologist Michelle Morgan. She's in our Pinpoint Weather Center. So if anybody's going to the game, the scarves are actually going to come in good use tonight for people.
Absolutely. We're looking at another cold night across central Florida. It's already a cold start to our morning because we had a cold front that moved through yesterday that actually brought some showers and some downpours to the area, but I'm not tracking any rain right now. In fact, we're looking at a pretty dry day or dry weekend ahead. So chilly start. We're looking at a pleasant but breezy afternoon, not only today, tomorrow as well. A secondary cold front is expected to move through on Sunday late, and that is going to usher in even colder air from the north, where many of us will be waking up in the 30s and lower 40s across central Florida beginning Monday night. Good news, if you are looking for some milder weather, we're back in the 70s as we head into Thursday and Friday. And also today is November 30th, which marks the end of hurricane season. So I have great news to report there. Now, yesterday's cold front has kicked up our winds out of the north, looking at sustained winds at 14 miles per hour in New Smyrna Beach, 15 miles per hour in Orlando, as well as Cocoa Beach and Melbourne seeing 9 mile per hour winds, and it'll stay pretty gusty as we go through today. And of course, with the winds, it is creating a wind chill. Ocala, good morning. You're starting off at 41, feeling like 39. The Villages, 44, feeling like 41. Orlando at 49, feeling like 46. And out in Daytona Beach, good morning, you're starting off at 46, feeling like 45. So you want to wear forecast, you'll definitely need to bundle up if you're heading out. Clouds will continue to clear as we go through the morning with temperatures steady in the lower 50s. By 10, we're in the middle 50s, and then by 2, we're in the middle 60s. So it'll be a pleasant day with abundant sunshine. And then for the rest of Central Florida, Titusville, you see a high of 68. Cocoa Beach, Cape Canaveral, a high of 70. And Orlando, a high of 69. So that colder air, that'll be heading our way later on this week. Of course, I'll have the full forecast coming up shortly.
We've got regional final action on the high school gridiron. We'll have highlights and reaction. UCF's disappointing season comes to an end at the Bounce House, and the Magic stay red hot. Sports is just ahead.
Traffic doesn't happen in here. It happens out here and here. I'm traffic safety expert Trooper Steve. And yes, I am a real state trooper. I grew up here. I'm the only traffic expert who's actually investigated crashes, who's patrolled these roads. I know how that traffic is going to affect your morning commute. So if you want real advice from my real experience on your Central Florida roads, you got to start here and you got to watch before you go.
It's the December to Remember sales event. See our inventory at lexusoforlando.com.
We're partnering with BFAR Contracting and the Salvation Army to bring a very Merry Christmas to families with the Angel Tree program. But for one mom who left everything behind to give her kids a better life, it's about giving them the Christmas they deserve. You can still pick up tags at any Angel Tree location across Central Florida to help give families a very Merry Christmas. At last check, just over 3,700 angels have been adopted. That leaves us just under 2,400 angels left across Central Florida. You can pick up tags at participating Chick-fil-A's in Central Florida and the mall at Millennia. If you want to help from home, you can also get online and adopt an angel there and see their entire wish list. Just head to clickorlando.com for more information. When you read these gift tags, for example, there's a lot of little girls that want Barbie dolls, and it makes it so personal because when I was a little girl, I wanted Barbie dolls for Christmas.
Of course.
And I remember what that was like, opening up the Barbie doll that I wanted on Christmas.
Yeah.
And so when you think about it like that, it's become so personal for so many people.
It does. And you know what? It's just such a great program because, you know, just watching that story and just seeing, like, you know, a lot of these people's hardships and, you know, they want to provide for their children, but then you have these programs that help them out.
Exactly.
So you can put a smile on your child's face. I couldn't even imagine what that feels like.
Yeah,
so that's such a great program. And, you know, a lot of folks will be out today shopping. Today is a Small Business Saturday.
It is indeed.
And it's going to be chilly, but no rain to hold you back. If you're going to head out, of course, you know, support our small businesses across Central Florida. So here are your headlines. Here's what to expect. So we are looking at cold mornings this weekend, but pleasant afternoons. It's going to be gorgeous, abundant sunshine, and temperatures warming up into the 60s and lower 70s. So overall, looking at a nice weekend. But looking at another cold front that will be moving through tomorrow. The first one was yesterday. That's why we're starting off so chilly. The second one will be tomorrow, and that is going to set the stage for some frosty mornings beginning on Monday. And that's going to last through Wednesday, where our temperatures will be in the 30s and 40s. So frosty mornings are ahead. And today's November 30th, so that marks the end of hurricane season. So happy to report that. Now let's go ahead and talk about the setup here, just so to see what's going on in the atmosphere. So there's the first cold front to our south and east. Air of high pressure will keep things rather quiet as we head into later on today and also tomorrow. And there's our secondary cold front that is heading towards Texas, and that is going to usher in that colder polar air from the north as we head into next week. Now the winds have kicked up out of the north, sustained here at 13 miles per hour in Sanford, 15 miles per hour in Orlando and Cocoa Beach, and 14 miles per hour in New Smyrna Beach. So anytime we have northerly winds, that's going to pull in that colder air, and it's going to create a bit of a wind chill. So even though temperatures are in the 30s, or 40s and 50s, it feels much colder on the skin. So bundle up if you're heading out. So here's a look at your planning forecast for today. We'll see partly cloudy skies, and those clouds will slowly thin out as we go through today. We'll be in the lower 50s by 8, middle 50s by 10, and then lower 60s by lunch with a daytime high of 69 degrees this afternoon in Orlando. For the rest of us here, we'll see a high of 67 in Sanford, DeLand, a high of 66, Ocala, a high of 64, and Cape Canaveral, you'll see a high of 70 degrees this afternoon. Now, I do want to show you your lows for tonight. Once again, it'll be another cold night. Look at this. Ocala, you'll see a low temperature of 39. The Villages, Wildwood, of 44. Orlando at 52. 53 in New Smyrna Beach, and 60 in Cocoa Beach. So regions north and west of the I-4 corridor, frost is possible, especially out of Marion County and parts of Flagler County, as well as northern Sumter County. So if you live in those counties, you have sensitive plans, try and cover them up today or tonight because of the colder weather as we head into the overnight hours. Now, your clouds and rain forecast looks fine. We'll continue to see those clouds thin out. This particular model trying to pop a few isolated showers along our coastline, and that's about it. Many of us will be nice and dry. Now let's talk about the cold weather here. We're looking at our overnight temperatures dipping into the lower 40s both Tuesday and Wednesday. So those 2 days, those 2 mornings will be the coldest mornings as we head into the upcoming work week. And as I mentioned before, because of the winds, it's going to feel much colder. So there's a look at your 7-day, 69 today, 52 tonight, 71 tomorrow. And then we have some colder days ahead as we head into next week. Emily?
Looks nice to me. All right. Thank you, Michelle. Another busy night in the high school football playoffs. Teams looking to bring home that state title trophy. Plus, UCF has a disappointing end to a disappointing season. News 6's sports anchor Ryan Welch has your Saturday morning sports.
Go to clickorlando.com and sign up to be an insider so I can bring you exclusive contests, stories, and behind-the-scenes footage.
I gotta get things started. Hey, yeah.
Get things started with News 6 Mornings. You gotta watch before you go. Central Florida weather changes constantly. Don't have time to turn on the TV? Grab the Pinpoint Weather app from the App Store. The app is like having a News 6 meteorologist in your pocket. Open it up, boom, there's the radar. Boom, there's the forecast. It has the Futurecast right on it, the same modeling used in the News 6 studio. And if there's a warning, it comes automatically to your phone. Download the free News 6 Pinpoint Weather app now and have our weather team with you whenever you need us. Sponsored by Renewal by Anderson.
Every month, we're broadcasting from a different community.
Want us to come to your neighborhood?
Go to clickorlando.com/hitstheroad and tell us where to go next.
Okay, so this is pretty cool. Researchers in Peru just discovered what they believe to be a more than 10 million year old crocodile fossil. The researcher who found it says it could have been measured between 10 and 13 feet long. The specific type of crocodile only currently lives in Asia. So they say this crocodile is most likely a juvenile. They say the only part missing is a piece of the croc's left arm and a part of the tail. I feel like archaeologists and people that do that kind of work, they have some of the coolest jobs.
Yeah.
I would love to go see an archaeological, like a dig site.
Me too. I just want to watch the whole process.
Yes.
And they have to be so careful too.
It is so fascinating.
When they're dusting everything.
And I bet when they find something, it has just got to be like the coolest feeling.
Yes.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, it has to be. And especially if you find something really big like that.
Right.
That's really cool too.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know what? A lot of us, we've been looking forward towards the colder weather.
Won't have to look hard to find that.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to look too hard to find that. Now, it's going to be a chilly weekend, really no rain in sight. Another cold front heads our way on Sunday, but look at your temperatures as we head into next week. It's going to be chilly, highs in the 60s, and then morning wake-up temperatures in the 40s. And of course, with the strong winds, many of us will be feeling like the 30s across Central Florida.
All right, here's what's coming up in the next hour. A father killed more than 3 years ago and his murderer never found. Now newly released surveillance footage is giving us a look at the killer for the first time in the family, hoping it leads to their arrest. Another hour of news and weather coming up right here on News 6. Thanks for waking up with us this morning. We're back in 3 minutes.